about Ronin Action Group. Now you moved again from stuntman to actor to stunt coordinator. Now you're an action choreographer and stunt director as well. And you've taken lead roles, right? Now, then you've opened up Ronin Action Group.
Yeah.
What does Ronin Action Group stand for?
Ronin in Japan is salaryman in the modern terms, right? In the olden days, those ancient days, they're just like samurai without a master.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are like masterless samurai in a way. So when I started this group, I looked for a right name. So two words came in: rogue or Ronin. So I think that Ronin sound better. So I put in Ronin. The starting of Ronin is because that whatever knowledge that I have that I was being taught in in Indonesia, and where when I met my second master, Alip, he's also from Hong Kong. He taught me a lot of things. He asked me, "So what you gonna do? You gonna act forever? You gonna fight on screen forever?" He said that are you seriously going to do this forever, this way, or you just focus on one line, or do you have multiple ways of earning money? He said that most importantly, remember this: your ego has nothing to do with yourself, because that you need to understand. So behind you, there's a group of people. That's your family. You need to think for them. So if you have your ego around and it may not work, then what about your family? What is your fallback plan? So I sat there and think about it, and just like, wow, that's a good idea. So I said maybe producing or action directing is a good plan. Maybe you should start a company, do something. Yeah. So that's where I came about. I started my own team. There was previous team, but then there's some problem happened. You know, some, like I told you, some smart people trying to run over you and try to take everything away, which is you can take everything away, but my mind's still here. So I started Ronin Action Group many years ago, like 2013 or 14, 14, yeah. So that's like, so I started this way, and my idea was just that we will teach you how to do stunts. We also teach you how to act as well on screen, so that you have two different jobs, two different sector to go. If you do good in stunts, you can excel with it. That's good. Or you can do acting. That's good as well. Or you can do both at the same time. That's good, because there is no what I call a restriction in terms of evolving. Then my Sifu also tell me that you are good in acting, you can excel it, but don't forget that you also have knowledge from me, what I taught you, to do all the stunts whatsoever. So then when it comes into to that, I know that I can excel to start the company to help my fellow own Singaporean, maybe to understand a bit more the standard that not in Singapore but overseas, to bring it back in Singapore to really make them evolve in such a way that, hey, we can do so many things. Because in Singapore it's kind of hard. Everything is very expensive now, but the pay is not. And my CFO also said, remember to fight for your guys. Yeah, to fight for your guys, fight for yourself, fight for your family. Because that's what he says. Because it's very old Chinese mentality, very honorable soul. Yeah, he came from way back in Shaw Brothers' time,
Wow.
1970s. Yeah, I don't know whether you watch this 神雕侠侣,
Yep.
the
Yep.
one
Which
with
one? The Andy Lau one?
Andy Lau one.
Ah.
Okay, that big bird, right? It's
Yeah.
him actually.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I said, huh, that's you. He said, yeah, that's me, man. I said, oh my
Sandio
God. Yeah, so it's like 80s, 80s that he was that bird. So
Oh
that's
my
weird, man. I
gosh.
can't see your face. And yeah, it was so fun. I mean that, and then that's how he started his own business as well, evolving by himself, and that's where he was. But unfortunately, 3 years back ago, he passed on. Yeah. But then again, he
Yep.
passed down knowledge, because I always talk to him quite often and learn about things. He explained to me. Basically, he passed me a lot of knowledge. You know, he said you should one day direct as well. You should try to do different things. The kind of things that I receive and I cannot learn in school. No, no way. What I
Right.
received was a really a treasure to me knowledge. It's hard to find. So therefore, I'm handing out to some of my guys who are actually learning right now. As we speak right now, right, my guys back home is handling some of the stunt work for me. But of course, they'll get higher pay. And to be honest with you, sometimes I might not get a single cent. All the budget go down to the guys. So yeah, that's how it happens. But it's okay. But it's just part of life. You can't take everything, every single thing away. But to actually evolve, to see the company grow, they're about to have certain sacrifices. And
Right.
right now we are like 20 over people. So all the guys are trained in acting, are trained in stunts. Of course, not all of them are very good. Some of them are trying to evolve to take a bit of time. But then again, they are all very like-minded people. At the same time, that and it's always very fair. We take care of them every single one of them.
This is one of the questions that actually popped up as well about acting versus action choreography. Now, what you are doing with Ronin Action Group is amazing because it almost is a talent agency. Very much. Yeah, you think about it. That's what the K-pop factory is, right? We teach you to dance,
Yeah.
we put your team together, we give you the choreography, we get the music, everything, but you only start making money after you debut. It's not like that for your company, but you're teaching them acting, action, and I'm assuming that somewhat down the line, you're probably going to be sharing a lot of information in filmmaking as well. And that will come into
Yes, we
your
do.
expertise and your passion into camera angles and all this. Now, on your
Yes.
end, personally,
Hmm.
from being a stuntman to supporting role to even taking a lead role and action choreography, do you sometimes, what's the biggest shift that you really need to make apart from the physicality?
I think I can't shift anything much except for I bring along my knowledge so to enhance the performance of the actors, because that's
Mm,
what I would do. And then I see it gives me a pair of eyes to be a bit more sensitive towards the performance on screen, because I did that before. I know what you make the mistakes. I put everything together so I can see that in terms of the quality of the acting or the action parts during the action part acting, you have a sense of nose to tell that, okay, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. Maybe this would need to tweak a little bit, that you need to tweak a bit. Maybe the camera
right,
angle is wrong.
right,
Also the timing that you only have, and what kind of training does the actor has.
right,
So all these things have to be accountable. A lot of people just say simply just action per se, but you discount about other abilities that or the accountable factors into that one single frame. Yeah, so that's my I think that's my gift for me, because then I do both, you see. So it's
right.
kind of
And
like very different. Yeah, go ahead.
And with your background in Sanda, right, along with the other martial arts you do,
Mm.
now I'm a martial arts junkie myself, so I really, really
Cool.
do appreciate all of this. And you were going into the action choreography side of things. Did you start going down the rabbit hole of studying everything that you could so that you could make something, whether or not it was for real life or it would look good on camera? Did you just start diving deep and going into the strangest things, like say for example the Indian traditional martial arts where they still have the saber and the shields? Those small little shields that they use.
Yeah, I think that we do that all the time, and also thank goodness that my team has a lot of different talent martial artists as well, like capoeira,
Mm,
karate, um, Chinese kung fu, silat, all those kind of different variations, even Krav Maga as well, and knife fighting. So all these elements that give me the insight of what we can do. At the same time that there are certain things I cannot share, that's for sure. So that we see what we can channel out to do something great on screen for other people. The other thing is just that we wanted to do good, but at the same time that it's also depending on the performer themselves. Okay. But of course, like I said, the problem with Singapore, there always no time on. Either they are lazy or no budget. Okay. Okay. They think that by seeing that, oh, like that can already. Everything want to be miracle pills. I call them the instant noodle age.
mm,
Yeah,
yep.
it's not about going to deep down like we did. Really go deep down, train and train and train, and then go in to perform and looks good. A lot of
Yeah.
people say, "Wow, your form is very good." Yeah, we train, man. Yeah, and then some people just swing. Got swing can already. It's not so easy. Yeah,
Mm, mm.
some people think that, oh, I'm good looking. I can kick very split, or kick split, or can do this. I can do it already. There are many factors in it. Whether you can do kicks or not. There's tens and millions of thousands of people can do the same shit as what you do. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
only take that whether do you carry the weight of that role. Okay, that's why the people always think that, oh, I can do this martial art, but 你得唔得啊？你嘅樣得
Yeah.
唔得啊？你嘅氣得唔得啊？you know,
Mm,
this is all the factor we need to account for in. So for us, we just that when we study all these things, bits and pieces of other different martial art, okay, we become a melting pot, and then we look what works, what don't works.
right.
You know, so we need to put on different hats all at the same time. Sometimes sometimes maybe a scene, right? I can stress over like, wow, maybe one day I'll just sit in my com with my guys, and then we just think of it. Oh, okay, okay, go have coffee first. I don't think, just like you just jam down there,
Mm,
But then again, of course, like sometimes I just need leave my guys do, and then I'll just look at playback. We do a pre-visualization. I say whether this work or not. I say okay, the camera works or not. Okay, can okay, because sometimes you need to see that you need to check the quality. I need to check the quality, and the guys need to show me what they have done. So whether I'm approved or that, that's not the idea. I will only give in feedbacks, and I say that this, maybe you try to do this. Okay, let's go back to the script again, and then let's take a look at the screen again, show it to the directors, and everything okay. Then okay, we move on.
yeah. Yeah.
So, but also another question whether the performer, especially the actor, do their homework. Or not.
Mm,
Some thinking that oh, like that can already. Oh, the actually execution different thing. Some say,
mm.
oh, I got this martial art, that martial art. When it comes to doing it, wow. Next, you know, yeah, it's not that easy, Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you can
like
actually start a sideline and say, hey, $80 an hour, I give you coaching. Come.
well, I
Sideline,
charge more
sideline,
than
come.
that actually.
Yeah.
And
Community
some
center
want to be
seafood, come,
Donnie
come.
Yen. Yeah, some want to be Donnie Yen. Thinking, oh, Donnie Yen this. Donnie Yen suffered a lot.
Mm,
Not easy.
yeah.
He have
His
suffered
career in the
bankruptcy.
early 90s were very tough.
Wow. Wow. Oh my God. The
Yeah.
worst, man. Donnie Yen suffered a lot, and even though he has skill set and everything, he go through a lot.
Mm,
Some wow, immediately, but the face I cannot make it. Some of
mm.
those I want to mimic him. They don't want to be themselves. They just want to be somebody else's shoes.
Right,
That
right.
is that is so sad. For me,
Yeah.
I'm not mimicking anybody. I'm myself. I
Yep.
like different animals in my playground. Different because maybe people don't know who is Zato Ichi, who is Sony Shiba, who is Samuel Hong, who
Mm,
is John Claude Van Damme, who is this, who is that. Because my kind of taste is very different.
yep.
Okay, yeah, it's just like
Our
this
days
is
were
what
different.
my tastes are. Yeah,
Yeah.
our tastes are very different. Yeah.
Correct. This brings us to a very, very good point. When you look at action in itself, action movies, action stunts, and all this, back then in the 80s, right, it was big movement, one solid hit. Everything is like, wow, everything had to be big, everything had to be strong. Everything had to have a certain large intent. No, back then it didn't even have intention. It was just big movements. There was no intention,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But now the fans, what we are actually looking for, and you look at and you see in all the great movies right now, is about realism, because
yes,
we want to see what's realistic. We want to see what relates to us, and what is effective, street
yes,
effective. You know what I mean?
yes,
Um, but in your eyes, right? I'm sure you've done a lot of film study. This is
yeah,
just for my own personal kicks. What do you feel?
sure.
What do you think is the most realistic fight sequence?
There are quite a few. Um, there are quite a few that I like. Raid Redemption, Raid 2 is one
Mm.
of the two raids.
The the karambit scenes are.
Gambit Scenes is really one of the best ones. The other one I like is Extraction, which is really good as well. It really cater to see how combat in real life is going to look like. Of course, John
Mm.
Wick, the first one looks quite impressive, but after that you look into it, it's just like, maybe there's certain things that just like up.
Got too
Other than, of
flashy, yeah.
course, yeah, too flashy. Of course, Donnie Yen, his very first, the first Fresh Point and
Flashpoint.
SPL, that too was one of
SPL
the
was
favorites. Yeah,
one
SPL
of the
was one of the best.
greatest stick fighting
Yes,
scenes and knife fighting scenes ever.
yeah, one of the best, man. So those are the more realistic ones that I like.
Mm,
But right now, there's as you see, there's a lot of spinning, jumping, flashy move. They're still around, but maybe those are good for Marvel movies, you know.
mm,
But right now, if you look into Korea movies, you tend to look into they tend to look into approaching the realism of fights, what
right.
happened. Because I used to work as a bouncer. I've seen fights once or twice, more than my life, and I've been to some of them as well. Well, which I'm not very good at it. But then shit happens. You go all hell break loose, right?
You're
So
still
you
here.
look into those, yeah. Well, you see those factored in, right? People will say, "Wow, this is look crazy," because it is like that. When things happen because they happens for a reason. I also understand that. I try to implement those things around, but then again, your fight is similar. Like, they sort of like comment in a way. But real fight is this way. But when you watch in a Korean movie or series, it's the same thing goes happen one way or the other. It's a dynamic of things that what you can use and also depending on the budget as well. So what realism, what people do audience to it as well. You might be flashy and everything, but I can see it on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then doing stunts is a little different thing. Crash into
Yep.
this, do into that. I mean, I jump onto tall buildings, I get explosion. I jump from explosion. I get knocked down by cars. I broke, fractured my ribs. I, I have, my back was shifted, my neck was shifted. I have all kinds of injuries, quite a lot. So those are the experiences that we understand what to apply onto it. So it's not so easy said that, oh, action is like that only. No. Yeah. So those kind of action that what I mentioned to you, pack in the realism. Because why not audience goes for that. Yeah. So that's my take there.
Right. Okay. And if let's say for example, given a choice, assuming that budget was not the issue at all,
Mm-hmm.
what would your Singapore action movie be?
Wow. Mm.
Would you do it in a let's say a period drama style? Would you do it in something futuristic? Um, or or would you reboot VR Man?
What?
I
Why?
love
Why is
taking a
that
dig at that
VR
show. I
man?
love it.
Well, hell no, man. Okay, now, I don't know why you bring VR man. It's such a hard to digest that.
No, I just love taking a dig at it. I've been taking a dig at it for a decade already. I'm still doing it.
Okay, now I will just put it in perspective in three films. Right? If I want to do a period piece, you'll be back in those days where during Second World War.
Mm,
Okay, I want to do Justified on that because certain heroes are not being mentioned, and we need to honor their name. Right now, the newer generation don't understand the word honor to our forefathers, to the people who saved this country or do something for us, and we do not honor their name, but we not do justify what was being told to us and how brave they are. If we're talking about VR, man, I will scrap. First of all, I'll scrap away that stupid costume, and I won't put VR man. I'll just put V. Okay, but I'll have him organic suit that looks really crazy, high tech and everything. And I don't do that stupid run and let the police do that. The first time I watched the movie, watched the series, the time when they do that spin and run over, I jump and said, "What the fuck?" That was I mean, it's stupid nonsense. I will do away those things. I will just put him to, uh, I will put him to a situation that really people don't want hero, and a little bit of a local mindset of like against all these things. You know
Mm.
that because that generally people don't want you to kepo, especially the police and everything. So I wanted to put in a situation that is more humanizing rather than a superhuman strength or whatever it is.
True,
Now the
true.
third one for high sci-fi, I do have a concept. I'm working on towards a certain program now. Yeah, then I cannot reveal much right now with actually with UK directors and local directors. I can't reveal much. It is a
Nice.
it is kind of crazy kind of concept, but it takes 100 years from now, and it's kind of crazy. So I hope we get it really. Well, I hope we really get the funding and do it, and you will see what we can do. So yeah, I
Awesome.
mean this three concept are what I think it should be. Of course,
Yeah.
I don't want my audience to pay $10 to watch a film that talks like comprehension. 今天你好吗？很好啊。哇哇
Yep.
老了，you know, it's just like let me elbow you a little bit. You know, it becomes a comprehension rather than
Yep.
dialogue.
Yep.
I mean, I want them to be real, not trying to be too word for word. We have this kind of system that has really made me sick to my stomach sometimes. I said nobody talk that way. You know, why
Yep. The
can't you be a
written
bit
word and
more
the
lively?
spoken word are very different.
Yeah, very different. So just like, well, now, you know, like even for code of law, I try, but the writing is good, so I try to be more normalized talk rather than
Mm.
just trying to like read between the lines, right?
Yep.
So that's one thing we need to forego that. We try to like maybe put in Singlish as well. I don't know why it feels so disgraceful to even talk Singlish on screen. It's not wrong. There is all this thing called subtitling. If we do something that we are not, then we're trying too hard to become somebody else's shoes, and it becomes not us. Why?
Yep. I agree.
Yeah. Why? What's the point? We eat rojak, we eat char kway teow, we eat mee rebus, we eat nasi lemak. You know what I mean? What's wrong with
Yeah.
that? But at the same time, that our theme, our conversation, our whole what do you call it? The movie need not just only fixed to local but internationally as well. The genre films.
Mm.
I cannot agree to. I mean, of course, you have the art film. You're allowed to survive. You have the slapstick. Of course, it's good, but you need to meet in the middle as well. Everything too sideish is just like nobody want to watch, because
Yep.
we still wanted to. Because when we are young, that time we are feeding storytelling. Like when you're primary school, I'm in primary school. Teacher will come. Okay, storytelling time. Everybody just glue and listen to story, right? Because we love stories. That's what binds us. Right now, there's no story. There's Instagram. There's this. Try to be pretty. Try to be fake. 100 followers, million followers, and this and that. The talking crap. You know why? But then again, there are people still listen to story, and then listen to story. When we are young, we listen to story, and then we're just
Mm.
so intrigued about the storytelling bits. Now, right now, as we grow up, we watch movies that written from novel, written from comic book, or even from manga, or that thing. You're just like, wow, we can't unfold this whole mystery. You know what I mean? It's just like you're just looking forward to that episodes or to that chapter of that film. It's just like, wow, this is what actually happened. It might be the same, but still, we wanted to know what the ending is. We want to feel whole with the film. We want to spend that kind of time to be in that presence of that film. And you relive. Sometimes, do you find out yourself that you rewatch a certain movie again? I believe you do, right?
Many
Why you
times.
want to relive? Because yeah, many times, right? Because you want to relive that adventure again. You want to feel that what the hero comes up strong, but then again he never gives up, or maybe that the hero died. This and that. You want to feel that feeling because that's what makes us human. Because we have
Mm.
feelings. We have feelings that we look into things, we sympathize with, and then sometimes it has a certain lesson. It tells us things that, look, it shouldn't be this way. You should have a much more perspective. Or maybe somebody stab you in the back, or things like that, or maybe karma. All these things that we sort of like learn from the movie that we watch. Right now, we
Yeah.
don't have people talk about yiqi or honor. Not all about me and me and me only. When I look at it, I just say, fuck, I don't watch. you know?
Yep. Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
you just like you don't want to watch, man. You just like there is no soul. Even some of
Yep.
the songs right now there is no soul as well. It's just penny or some sexy woman with big titties with lingerie dancing around, and then just so much noise and dum 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 dum. Wow, damn sian.
You know what this means, right, Sunny?
Yeah,
We're getting old.
well. Well, I'm
It's a
old. I'm
fact. It's a
49.
fact. Hey, look, I don't understand EDM. I don't understand the rap music of today. I and hip hop
Mhm.
of today. I don't, because well, at least the stuff we listen to is always like Snoop, and
Oh
of
yes,
course you got Tupac and Biggie and all those other
yeah,
guys,
yeah,
right? You got Nate Dogg and you got G Funk and everything. This was back
yeah.
then, right? Um, but that had stories. Those had stories, right? But
Mm.
today, on the other hand, like what you mentioned, music on the other hand is very, very different. um it just doesn't work for me. So I've kind of
Mm.
accepted that okay, it's probably me. I'm getting old, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to tell my son, turn it down, it's too loud.
yeah.
It's just a different generation, but I'm just glad to
Mm.
know that action stays as action. That one you can't
Yes,
run away. A punch is a punch, a kick is a kick. And that
yeah.
is a wonderful thing, that at least you are in a trade that will last forever.
30 years from now, maybe 20 years from now, still around. When I look back, I'm saying I'm still there. And people
Yep,
will either remember me or hate me. It's okay. Yeah,
correct,
we are
correct. And
immortals.
I'm just glad that at least you won't be typecast as the villain all the time. As what I think I saw an article online about you saying that you were one of the villains all the time, or you're the face of a villain all the time.
Yes, yes. It's okay. I mean, at least it pay the bills. But right now, I have offers for next year. There's many other things that offer me right now. So I'm looking into it. Hopefully that my boys and girls will follow me, Ronin boys and girls follow me to do the work. At least that they can have the first-hand experience and also get paid to do it. So at least they learn and progress because I'm planning my on-screen action retirement very soon, and some people have to take over. But then
Mm,
again, because your body only can sustain so much of injury, and as you grow
right.
old, you tend to deteriorate. Yeah. So some of them don't have to take over. Like hopefully, I can promote them and they'll be on screen for me, or I can sit behind the chair and just direct them. Yeah.
Right. That's nice.